is your AI briefing for June 28, 2026, with 12 stories. Story 1: Google confirms Gemini upgrade. AI can now control your computer. Google's upgraded Gemini computer use lets AI operate your browser and applications on device, prompting stricter user controls and raising new privacy and safety responsibilities. The system requires explicit permission for every action, allowing users to monitor and revoke AI control instantly. This granular oversight shifts security responsibility to individuals managing sensitive personal or corporate data. Google shifts liability for AI-driven screen control to users, prioritizing convenience over the obvious privacy risks of an AI operating your desktop. Story 2: Apple Inc. AAPL allows alternative app stores and payments in Brazil following a deal with regulator. By June 18th, Apple agreed with Brazil's antitrust regulator CADE to let developers use alternative iOS app stores and off-in-app payments, changing App Store rules for the Brazilian market. This agreement ends a regulatory dispute, allowing third-party stores to bypass Apple's mandatory 30% commission. Developers can now process transactions directly, significantly reducing platform fees for Brazilian users. Apple capitulates to Brazil's regulator, trading monopoly rent for regulatory survival, while the BCI stock distraction highlights their desperate narrative pivot. Story 3: AI companies are learning an ironic lesson as the people they pay to improve their chatbots are just feeding AI slop into them. A coalition of AI vendors and low-paid chatbot trainers is pushing back as vendors tighten review pipelines. The fix is better contracts, incentives, and audit trails to stop slop from entering training loops. This dynamic entrenches a cycle where AI models ingest the very degraded content they were meant to filter out. Trainers feed slop because poverty pays. Firing them won't fix the algorithmic garbage loop, but it will destroy their livelihoods. Story 4: DSpark. Speculative decoding accelerates LLM inference, PDF. This method reduces token generation time by up to 2.5x on NVIDIA H100 GPUs without sacrificing output quality or accuracy. DSpark trades memory bandwidth for latency, proving speculative decoding is a GPU-bound trade-off rather than a fundamental architectural breakthrough. Story 5: Adobe's Topaz acquisition could bring huge changes to Photoshop and Firefly. Adobe's planned Topaz acquisition aims to fold high-performance AI upscaling into Photoshop and accelerate Firefly image workflows for creators, potentially shifting enhancement quality and compute costs in near-term releases. Professional users may face increased subscription tiers to access the advanced compute resources required for these generative features. Adobe buys Topaz to offload GPU strain onto customers while selling them premium Firefly features they now need. The Story 6: A News, OpenAI GPT 5.6 sold as Terra Luna, restricted to trusted partners. OpenAI restricted GPT 5.6 access to vetted partners, rolling out tiered releases to both OpenAI and ANT on the same day to enforce controlled deployment and prevent broad availability. This tiered rollout prioritizes high-value enterprise clients while delaying general public access to mitigate safety risks. OpenAI's tiered rollout to trusted partners isn't innovation. It's a controlled scarcity strategy that benefits insiders while keeping the public locked out of GPT 5.6. Story 7: AI in mathematics is forcing big questions. IEEE Spectrum's debate on math LLMs highlights 69 comment threads on whether proofs can be trusted, with researchers proposing verification, provenance, and benchmarks to counter hallucinated results. Researchers are developing formal verification methods to mathematically validate LLM-generated proofs, addressing the critical risk of hallucinated logic in high-stakes computation. Math LLMs trade hallucination for plausible-sounding errors, forcing researchers to build verification layers that slow down the very speed AI promised. Story 8: Wix, YIX Microsoft MSFT partner to integrate AI-powered website creation into Microsoft 365 Copilot. On June 15th, Wix partnered with Microsoft to embed Wix Harmony website generation into Microsoft 365 Copilot via the OpenAI Apps SDK, letting users create production-ready sites from text prompts. Wix Harmony will initially support only Microsoft 365 subscribers, excluding standalone Copilot users. The integration streamlines content creation for enterprise workflows by reducing manual coding requirements. Microsoft bundles Wix into Copilot to sell more subscriptions, while Wix gains enterprise distribution but sacrifices its independent brand identity. Story 9. Apple Vision Pro exec is reportedly leaving for OpenAI. Paul Mead, Apple's Vision Pro VP, is reportedly set to join OpenAI's hardware team, signaling a talent shift after his leadership role in building and shipping Apple's spatial computing platform. This departure likely accelerates OpenAI's hardware strategy for physical AI interfaces. It signals intensified competition for spatial computing engineering talent between big tech and AI leaders. OpenAI poaches Vision Pro's lead exec, proving spatial computing's real bottleneck isn't hardware, it's the talent required to make it matter. Story 10. Cloudflare Net, Beehive partner to integrate AI crawl control for newsletter creators. On June 23rd, Cloudflare and Beehive integrated AI crawl control into Beehive so newsletter creators can adjust crawler access settings inside the publishing UI, improving control over how their content is indexed. The integration allows creators to selectively block data scrapers while maintaining standard search engine visibility. This reduces intellectual property risks as AI models increasingly harvest newsletter content for training. Cloudflare sells newsletter creators control over AI crawlers, essentially charging them to protect content from the very indexing that drives their traffic. Story 11. The fittest founder in the room got cancer. Here's how he used AI to fight back. Connor Christou, facing cancer, fed blood work, scan data, wearable metrics, and journal entries into Claude to help guide treatment decisions and continuous monitoring. Christou's approach allowed real-time adjustments to medication dosages based on immediate symptom feedback, potentially improving survival outcomes. Feeding medical data into a chatbot is a dangerous placebo. AI offers pattern matching, not clinical judgment, risking misdiagnosis by design. Story 12. Why is Apple asking me to pay more for big tech's AI obsession? Tim Cook says Apple's unavoidable price hikes are driven by big tech's AI spending, raising a 16-inch MacBook Pro by $300 and an 11-inch iPad Air from $599 to $749. The cost increases applied to devices featuring the M4 chip, which powers the new AI capabilities. Consumers must absorb the higher prices as Apple shifts hardware costs to fund advanced machine learning infrastructure. Apple blames AI infrastructure costs for $300 MacBook hikes, effectively passing the capital expenditure burden directly to consumers who have no other viable options. That is the briefing for today.